Got it. Live in 3, 2, go.
So what are the biological traits that most health gurus completely ignore to their clients' peril? We're going to talk about all of them inner workings today. Let's roll that intro.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to each and every one of you. Good morning, Daily Huddle. Good morning, Facebook. It is so nice to see your faces here this morning, this Tuesday morning on the Daily Huddle. My name is Vince Rountree, and Rawlin Vanatta is my co-host, and together we co-host the Health, Wellness, and Vitality Show. And before we get started, we have a few questions for you, starting with the lovely Miss Tara Heaton. How are you feeling today, Tara?
Good morning. I am feeling the way I say I am. And today I am feeling energized.
That is what I am talking about. You are the way you say you are. And today you're energized. I love it. I like to start my day being energized. In fact, you guys may think that I am always energized. I usually am, but not always. And so today I'm happy and I am energized as well. And Rawlin, what time do you have, my friend? What time do you have?
Oh, I think it's time for the Daily Huddle. I think it's right now. I think it's sip of coffee time. Like Miss Tara's got one big, delicious. Let's all do a cheers. Even if you don't have one, hold one up. Let's do it together. Hold it up. Cheers. Clink.
There it is. There it is. There it is. The time is now. You are the way you say you are, and we are in the right here and the right now, and right here and right now. Rawlin Vanatta and myself, we are going to talk about the healing process and what you can do in order to just the most powerful tool, literally the most powerful healing tool that there is. Most doctors ignore it. What you got for us this morning, Rawlin?
All right, man, I'm going to share my screen and y'all just stick with me. Y'all lean in and this is going to be a good one. And if y'all are not, if you're looking away from your phone, look back at it. If you're looking away from your computer, look back at it because there's some visuals here that's going to help you out today. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this slideshow button. And then I'm going to hit this other button and we're going to hit buttons. By the time we hit all these buttons to get done hitting buttons, y'all should be seeing a screen. Do y'all see a screen? Do y'all see food fix secret number 1? So this is something I call fuel hacking. Okay. And it's a very simple principle. Once y'all get this, it's going to blow your mind. It's going to change the way you think about everything. And you're like, oh, Rawlin, y'all, we've been watching the Daily Huddle for a year. And you ain't got nothing else to blow our mind. I'm going to blow y'all's mind today, okay? Because there's always this giant question. And this is a tool for y'all. Some of y'all that's been with us for a while, there's going to be a tool that y'all going to use. How many of y'all have been questions? Well, what about where you get your protein? Well, what about, ain't that too much sugar for diabetes? Hey, what about this? Hey, what about those carbs? You can't do that. What about? And you got to get, when you do this, you get a lot of what abouts. Okay. You get a lot of what abouts. And anybody that's done this for any length of time can attest to the what abouts. I think that's what we should call it, Vince. I think we should call it the what abouts. And this is going to, what about, right? This presentation, what I'm going to share with y'all today on the Daily Huddle, I've not shared for a really long time, but I'm telling you what, it will be a tool that you can just, like, have you ever watched like someone talk in a debate and stuff, and then all of a sudden they're going back and forth, and then one of them just says something, and it's like there is absolutely no argument past it? That's what's about to, and then the whole room goes silent. That's what's about to happen right now. Okay. Because I'm going to tell you the one way of eating that fixes health problems that no one thought was possible to fix, even if it runs in your family, even if you think you're too old, even if you believe you are too far gone. What is it? The wrong fuel damages your engine. Here's the big idea. If you put the wrong fuel in an engine, in a vehicle, it cannot work the way it's supposed to. Period. End of story. If you put the right fuel in an engine, the type of fuel that the engine was made for, well, guess what? It'll probably work like it was designed to work. I'm going to show you what I mean. Do y'all see this dude in the purple jumpsuit? Wave at me if y'all see the purple dude, the dude in the purple jumpsuit. All right. Someone type in the chat. Someone type in the Facebook chat. Someone type in the chat. You tell me, what is this dude pumping into his green automobile? Someone type in the chat. Tell me, what is he pumping into his automobile? I don't have my chat up, so I can't see it right now. Vince, you tell me what's coming through on the chat, okay? What is he pumping into his automobile?
Gas it is.
Gas it is. That's it. You're like, well, Rawlin, what are you making me type in all this junk for? Well, look at this. Now, what do you think would happen to that vehicle if all of a sudden he took a glass or a carton or a jug of milk and started pouring it in his engine? What do you suppose would happen to that vehicle? Someone type in the chat. What do you think that would happen to that vehicle? What do you think would happen? And if you were driving your vehicle, what do you think if somebody said, hey, I got some milk, I'm selling it for $2.50 a gallon rather than the $4 a gallon gas of the tank, you can put your engine, you can fill up your engine with this instead. Would y'all take that deal? You wouldn't, would you? It'd be insanity to take that deal. Why?
Tara said it'll blow up.
It'll blow up. Yeah, it won't do nothing good, will it? Right? All right. So I'm going to make a postulation today. Y'all going to postulate. Let's all postulate together. Here we go. What if our body was never originally designed to eat animal products? What do you mean originally designed to eat animal? If that's so, it would make sense that damage would incur if we use the wrong fuel, right? Do y'all see that guy taking just a big old bite of that raw liver, right? Look, Tara's like, no, don't show me that, right? Like, just think about that. Think about what the texture would be like, right? Just eating into that big piece of raw liver, right? Those internal organs. Just well, what if our body was never designed to eat that? Well, you guys know I'm a Christian guy. I'm a Jesus person. So it's funny, right after God made people, the very next sentence after he said, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, and he blessed them, he said, behold, I've given you plants to eat, guys. And it wasn't until 1,000 years later, actually more than that, when the flood happened, that later on started eating animal products. But we'll get into that here in a minute, because we won't really talk about that, because we're going to talk into science today, okay? So here we go. Y'all ready for it? Can y'all move your jaw from side to side? Let's try. Let's practice. Move your bottom jaw from side to side. Can y'all do that? Come on, do it with me. I see you, Tara. That's right. Guess what, everyone? I hope Stan the man's moving his jaw like that. Here's the deal. If you look, y'all see that you was all right. That's right. If you can move your jaw, here there's a problem. You have a problem. Everybody, you have a problem if you move your jaw from side to side. You know why? Because no carnivore in nature has that ability. No omnivore in nature has that ability. All right? Get ready for that. You see that? You see that wolf's face right there? You go take your dog. You find your dog. If you or a family member or a neighbor has a dog, you see if their jaw can go side to side. Don't press too hard because you'll break their jaw, because it doesn't go that way. Only herbivores and only frugivores have biological mechanisms going side to side. Why is that? Because they have to chew their food up instead of tear and swallow it whole. And guess what? You chew it. You don't grab it and swallow it whole. Now, let's look at a tiger. Same principle. Now, if you move your face to the side and you can move your jaw in and out, you have my permission to make that noise. If you can do that and move your jaw from side to forward and back, guess what? No carnivore, no omnivore has that capability. What? Wait, Rawlin, but we're omnivores. Are we? Are we now? There's some pretty interesting things between a carnivore and a human. Because, people say, well, what about them canines right there? What about them sharp teeth you got right there? I don't know about you, but I've never seen anyone with teeth like that unless they were at a Halloween party or had some kind of special surgery and was on Ripley's Believe It or Not or the Guinness Book of World Records, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Like I've never seen somebody that has big old tearing teeth like that. Ours little flat blunt things. By the way, there's a lot of different other things. Let's look at this. They have very acidic urine. Well, comparatively, we have alkaline urine. They have sweat glands in their paws, and they have to gasp to cool their body. Guess what we do? We sweat. Their intestines are 1.5 to 3 times their body length. Guess what ours is? About 9 times our body length. Why? Because we have to absorb all the nutrients from the plants. But they're eating rotten flesh. They need to get that out as fast as possible. But guess what? We put that flesh in our colon, and then all of a sudden we're like, I'm constipated. I can't work. Well, you need fiber to move through that 9 times body length intestinal tract that you have. And guess what? Animal products, you know how much fiber it has? 0, ladies and gentlemen, 0. So when people are having hemorrhoids or diverticulitis, irritable bowel syndrome, colitis, all those things are a result of a lack of fiber for a long period of time. Pressure building up, pockets popping out for diverticulitis, intestinals popping out of your body, down out of your poop hole for hemorrhoids, all because of a lack of fiber. Why? Because the wrong fuel damages your engine. Let's look at a few more of these things. Okay, yeah, Rawlin, but you're looking at a carnivore. What about an omnivore? Well, it's about the same. There's a bear face. Do you look like a bear face? Right? We could probably argue that some people can grow out a big old beard and look like a bear face, but when they smile, they just ain't quite the same, are they? Those teeth are just not quite the same. They do not require fiber to stimulate pooping. We do. Very interesting thing. How many people have ever heard, oh, you can't eat all those carbs, can't eat all those sugars, can't eat all that. Oh, let me ask you a question. Hey, Vince, I got a question for you.
Yeah, man.
What's that special enzyme that only herbivores and only frugivores have in their saliva that's particular for digesting carbs?
Salivary amylase.
Did y'all hear that? You mean we have a mechanism, an enzyme that only exists in herbivores and frugivores? It's in the entire biological spectrum. The only thing that can produce salivary amylase is herbivores and frugivores, to my knowledge. And yet you have that and you think it's bad for you to eat sugar stuff? The only reason that enzyme exists is to signal the stomach to prepare for a carbohydrate hitting your stomach. special enzyme to help you digest it. Well, if you have a special enzyme designed to break down carbohydrates, then why in the world would you think that your body is not designed to eat carbohydrates? Now, let's keep on talking. Well, what about an herbivore? We're not exactly like an herbivore. We're really close. A lot of things similar. But they have multiple stomachs and they have to chew cud all the time, and they swallow their food and then they burp it back up and keep chewing it, put it into a different stomach to make sure they derive all the things. But look, what is that? A frugivore? What kind of teeth is that? It's primates. So if you look, we almost have absolutely every biological similarity when it comes to our digestive tract, when it comes to our, and guess what their primary food is? Fruits, vegetables, nuts. Now, I want to ask y'all a question. What have we been asking y'all to eat for the past year? Right? We've all just been asking you to eat the fuel that your body was designed to consume and get out of the way so that your body, your engine, your vehicle can run the way it's supposed to.
You know what, Rawlin? Let me just break in for a second here because
Please do.
Because one way to think about this is when you look at the instincts of an animal, take a look at how their young behave before any kind of training, before any kind of indoctrination, right? If you look at a young, let's say a young, a kitten. If a mouse goes in front of a kitten, young, that kitten sees that mouse as food and will attack it and attempt to catch it and eat it. Well, we think that, oh, we're natural omnivores. Yet if a chicken is in front of a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, do they instinctually try to rip its head off, bite it, kill it, and start eating it? Or do they want to play with it and pet it? You know, oh, look at the chicken. That's because instinctually, we're really not omnivores. Now, I mean, everything about our anatomy is that of an herbivore. Now, what has happened in the history of man on this earth that has traveled, and you get to regions where there's not much growth, and you see animals and they'll kill it and you can eat it, and you can do that. We can eat animals. We can do that. But long term, if you are eating animal foods twice a day, 3 times a day, every day, and you get out of warranty. Now, what do I mean by what happens when you get out of warranty? Well, nature wants you to live long enough to procreate and raise your offspring until they can procreate. So until you're like 35 or 40, you can get away with anything. You can get away with, you can get away with just, drinking all night, staying up, getting no sleep, eating junk food, and you can survive it because you're under warranty. Nature wants to do everything possible to get you to the age where you can procreate, have offspring, and raise that offspring until they can procreate. So after 35, 40, certainly by the time you're in your 40s, you're out of warranty now. And so what happens to people around that age? Blood pressure starts creeping up, cholesterol starts creeping up, glucose levels start creeping up, because you've been eating in a way that does. And that's the reason why we get such incredible results. We aren't miracle workers. All we do is to help you to eat in alignment with your anatomy. And if you think that you are a natural carnivore, a natural omnivore, then why is it that a young child doesn't naturally want to attack that chicken, bite his head off, and tear off its wings and start eating? That's learned behavior. But a child doesn't have to learn how to eat. You cut up put an orange in front of a child and watch what they do.
Yeah,
put a plate of strawberries in front of a young child, and what do you think they're going to do with those strawberries? Naturally start eating it. They're not naturally going to start trying to eat a chicken that's clucking in front of them. But a cat would, because they are natural. Do you see the difference in that instinctual difference?
It's so good, Vance. That's so good. Is that not cool? All right. So I'm going to share this. I've got like 4 or 5 more slides real quick that we're going to go through, and then we'll tie up. And I think we'll be done in about 4 minutes. So I want to do 2 examples. Can y'all see my screen? No, you can't yet, can you? Okay. All right. You should be able to now. Can y'all see my screen?
Yep.
All right. So there's a dude right here, right? And there's a wolf right there. So we're gonna break down a few things. So stomach acid, pH of about 4 to 5, perfect for dissolving nuts, veggies, and fruits. But a wolf's acidity is really high. It dissolves bones, hooves, tough connective tissue. We can only eat about 3 pounds at a time. Guess how much a wolf? 30 pounds of food, and it won't eat again for a week or 2 because it won't make a kill for a week or 2. Would y'all be okay with not eating? Y'all just eat 1 meal every 2 months? 2 weeks. Would y'all be okay with that? Y'all think y'all can handle that? No, it's like most people don't have food in the next 4 hours. They're like, oh, I'm hungry, right? So they have no appendix. Carnivores have no appendix. We have an appendix. They do not require vitamin C. They can synthesize their own vitamin C. Guess what we get if we don't have any vitamin C? We get scurvy and we die. They discovered that a long time ago when they would when they were populating America from Europe. People were getting sick and dying on the journey over because they didn't have any apples or oranges or anything like that. And so they were getting scurvy and dying. They didn't realize what it was. And then someone realized that, hey, it was vitamin C that they were missing. We have a very narrow esophagus. They have a very large, wide esophagus so that they can just swallow things whole. So I'm not going to go into every one of them. It'll take too long. But so I want y'all to look real closely at this picture. Okay. I want you to look at the lions, the lionesses. Okay. Look, they got their tongues licked out. They got it out. They think this is a feast. Like their faces, right? They're ripping. And you know what? They didn't go to the ribeye. They didn't go to the sirloin. They didn't go to the tenderloin. They didn't go to all those places that we like to cut from. They went directly to the organs. Why? The organs have more nutrient value. So they go directly straight into, they don't need to cook it. They don't need to chew it. They just need to rip and tear. So here's the question to y'all. If this does not make your mouth water, instinctually, you were not built to eat animals. Guess what you were built to eat? Fruits, vegetables, whole grains. Anything that produces offspring that has a seed in it. So here's the question for all of y'all. One more last observation about that. Do y'all see all that beautiful color? We have color vision for a reason, ladies and gentlemen, to see the beautiful colors. So it's easy to find fruit on the trees. The reason why food manufacturers color their packages bright and put strawberries on the side of it on a fruit roll up, even though on the box of a side of a fruit roll up, even though there's no fruit in it. They put the color there. Why? To touch your instincts and control your body. So there's a great myth. Oh, it runs in my family. There's nothing I can do about it. Well, there is a possibility that can be true, but a very low possibility. And on top of that, is that not the worst thing you could ever hear on planet Earth? Well, there's nothing you can do about it. Why would anyone ever want to focus on that, especially when the statistics are that 80 to 90% of things that are thought to be genetic are not, and that actually can be controlled based on your lifestyle choices? But I want to show you something, because people say this about things like high blood pressure, erectile dysfunction, diabetes, pancreas, kidneys, diabetes, all this kind of stuff, right? Well, I'm going to tell you about Mark. Mark had 7 siblings. 6 of them had diabetes. He was a running back for the Michigan Wolverines in 1989. His mother had diabetes. She had kidney failure. She lost eyesight. She died of a heart attack. His younger brother, diabetes, kidney disease, and pancreas failed. Lost vision, leg amputated. Let me ask you a question. Do you think it ran in Mark's family? Right? His 6 of his siblings had diabetes. And guess what? He did too. 1997, type 2 diabetes, requiring insulin, not just metformin. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, frequent heartburn, erectile dysfunction, psoriasis. So yeah, it ran in Mark's family, right? But guess what? When Mark stopped putting in the food that the engine wasn't designed for, watch what happened. And he started putting in the fuel he started fuel hacking, putting the right food into his body. There's Mark today. He's off all meds. He reversed type 2 diabetes, normal blood pressure, normal cholesterol, reversed heartburn, reversed erectile dysfunction, reversed psoriasis, lost 50 pounds. Now, let me ask you a question. If he had type 2 diabetes and his whole family had type 2 diabetes, now he doesn't. If he had high blood pressure and heart problems, and now he doesn't. If he had high cholesterol and stuff, now he doesn't. If he had heartburn and stuff, and now he doesn't. If he had erectile dysfunction and his equipment didn't work, and now suddenly it works again. He had psoriasis and now he don't. He was really overweight and now he does. Now he's not. If it ran in his family, which it did, how could it just disappear? How could it just disappear? How could it just disappear? Dr. Michael Clapper has a very fitting statement right here. And Miss Tara just said it herself. Runs in people's families because they all share similar diets. That's right. So what runs in your family that's more important than genetics? Vince, would you answer that for me?
It's the food. What Dr. Clapper said, it's the food. It's the food. It's always been the food. We have normalized food that makes us sick. And it's big, big business, but it's normal. It's just normal to go ahead and have chicken wings and have ribs and have turkey and hamburgers. It's normal. It's normal. But it's also normal for us to die of a heart attack, die of cancer. That's normal. It's not normal for the Tarahumara Indians. It's not normal for the Papua Highlanders in New Guinea. They've never heard of heart attack or most forms of cancer because they eat plant-based. They eat in alignment with their anatomy. And that is the reason why this is the one way of eating that fixes health problems that no one thought was possible to fix, even if it runs in your family, even if you think you're too old, and even if you believe you are too far gone. Vince Rountree, whatever you have to say, go right through it, man. We got 30 minutes after the hour, and I will just say this, that you only have one body in this lifetime. Look at yourself in the mirror and don't take that for granted. Because if you don't take care of your body, where are you going to live? You only have one body in this lifetime, so eat as though your life depends on it. Because it does. Just eat more fruits and vegetables. Know that just the addition of a couple of extra servings of fruits and vegetables can extend your life. And not just add years to your life, but add life to those years. My name is Vince Rountree. I thank you so much for listening to us on the Daily Huddle. Tune in to the Daily Huddle each and every day during the week at 9 o'clock Eastern, and you will get information that can enrich your life. Thank you for tuning in. Have a fantastic day. Thanks, Dan.